Oh god, okay, that slowed everything down. Oh god, like 4 different things showed up. Like the Jesus. Like the freaking the Nvidia thing like popped up is like be sure to capture, and then like the emulator would like slow down, and I got like a notification on my computer for something totally unrelated. Like 5 different pop-ups showed up on my computer the moment I the moment I loaded up the game. Anyway, hello everybody. How's it going? Welcome to another Senran Kagura live stream. Today we're playing Burst again. Let's see. Am I okay on the camera? It's a little too high. I might have to maybe bring myself down a little bit. Yeah, so that I can stay on frame. At least have a little bit more headspace. But yeah. Okay. We all good? Is the audio good? The internet is looking good. I had to go live like right on the dot. Literally right at the very second that it was 8 o'clock because I was distracted doing other stuff. I have family visiting right now, and so I said, I gotta do a stream. And I'm gonna be gone for 2 hours. Hopefully that's cool with you. But, you know, if I end up being a little bit on the quieter side and I don't pop off as much, it's probably because I got other people in the other room that I don't want to disturb. They're watching their crappy, horrible reality TV shows, and they do not want to be disturbed when that's going on. I despise those reality shows because it's just like just shitting on people that are like deliberately put in like awkward bad situations and just relationships. I don't know what it is about like mainstream television that is like this awful obsession with just relationships, right? Like, oh, you slept with that guy, or you kissed this person, or you're giving them these eyes. Just people fighting over each other, right? There's always like love triangles, love squares, love pentagons, and it's just the same shit, just regurgitated over and over again every time, and it just feels awful, right? Oh, is he? And then like the TV show hosts are like the scummiest thing in the world, right? It's like, oh, is this person cheating on Michaela? Let's go ask some questions, and every question is like super loaded, right? Like, don't you think that there's something odd about this person? There could be nothing odd about them, right? But you're already inserting the idea into their head, and so that creates drama. And then there's fights, and instead of like being horrified by it, everyone just laughs. It's awful. Anyway, I hate reality TV. And you know, we all have that family member that just like adores it, right? And if you don't, then I'm very happy for you. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and play some Senran Kagura Burst. We are continuing on with the story. Hibari's down in the dumps. We gotta talk to her. Well, we can't, actually, because she's gone. She actually went ahead and just joined the Hebijo, kind of. You know, she sorta kind of gave up after screwing up a whole bunch of times in a row. With, you know, trying to help out the Hanzo girls, losing the key at the beach, and then, you know, thinking that she tracked Hebijo Academy, and it's not. It was just a training ground that was made as like a mouse trap for people that were trying to sneak in. And then giving them the secret ninja scroll, not knowing that she was being fooled the entire time. You know, her getting all uppity about Yagyu getting hurt and stuff like that. Emotions run high, but she was very naive and very gullible, and she got played by every single person that's smarter than her. And so, at this point, I feel like she should know better, but it doesn't really get any better. She's still very, very naive and gullible, even in future games and stuff. She, you know, considering all of the shit that she has to go through in this game, it's kind of impressive how she continues to be like the cutesy, sweet, childish kind of character in future games, you know? I'm not asking for her to be like super like gritty and you know, cynical and stuff, but I mean, like, you know, be a little smarter at least, right? But she's still like, you know, she sees like Mr. Bunny cookies and goes, yay! It's like, okay, come on, at some point you gotta grow up, you know? I get Minori, but you? Reality shows are pretty much the same and gets old fast. Yeah, they're all garbage. I hate them all. I literally hate them all. None of them have shown any value. I'm getting text messages because my mom keeps asking us what we want for Christmas, and I don't know what to send her. And so my brother's sending screenshots of stuff that he wants. I did send her some stuff, like some manga books, like special edition, like hardcover manga books. I like reading manga, but if I'm gonna read it physically, then I want to go all the way with it and get like hardcover as opposed to like the floppy stuff, you know? Alright, I just wanna make sure I'm not pulling any wires down here. They did quite a bit with her in New Link, at least. Yes, but we, well, I have not read it or translated it or anything yet. I don't know anything about that. And that's like far, far into the future. Right now, we're just kind of looking at Boist. Whatever happens with her later on is a different discussion. A different discussion that we probably have a tough time having because, you know, it's all in Japanese and Google Translate can only do so much. Anyway, we have a very long story scene going on here, so we're gonna go ahead and just move forward with that. There's 8 people here right now, but we're just barely starting, so, you know, I'll just read, and then that'll be some good time that we can make as we wait for people to come in. So, yeah, everybody get cozy, and yeah, let's actually keep enjoying some more stories, like we're watching the anime all over again, but this is better. Near the place known as the North Gate, Haruka and a Hanzo shinobi say, oh yeah, so this must be the one called Hibari. Okay, I think this is what, like Homura? Like Homura narrating all this? I forget. My nose is a little crappy today. I'm sorry if I sniffle a lot. Haruka's laughing as Hibari's curled up next to her like some little animal. Yeah, who is this? Haruka holds out the super duper Krabby Patty secret formula. I finally have the scroll in my hands. Okay, so it is Homura. It's, I was gonna say funny. Well, it's not funny. I'm not laughing. But it's weird that we're playing the Hanzo story, like the hero side, and then we have the story that is through, Homura's perspective. It's weird. Haruka, you're gonna make this girl a doll. I glance at Hibari. Yeah, transfer. She stole the scroll and now she wants to change schools. I can't imagine what's going on through her head. Maybe she's just using it to infiltrate Hebijo. Well, not necessarily. For realsies? I glare at Hibari and she gulps. There we go. Just as easy as that. You're our Nakama. She looks somehow disappointed. She speaks so timidly that Haruka starts chuckling. Of course, this is exactly what she wants. Was there to distrust you for? Like, literally, the moment that Homura says you're our friend, immediately their attitude totally changes. This is something that I kind of don't like from these characters. Is like, they're portrayed as such, like, evil bastards, when you come across them for, like, the first couple of times. But then, like, immediately, the moment you start seeing, like, their perspective, like, they're just these, like, weird, like, goofballs, right? They're more funny than they are evil, and they don't really seem like bad people in any way at all, but that's only after, like, a certain point into the story, right? But, like, what about all those other moments where, like, they seem more than okay with killing people, and then, like, this never gets brought up later? It's just so strange. They do, like, this shift that, feels very, very sudden, and it doesn't have a proper transition, right? It just shows the funny stuff, and it doesn't factor in all of the evil shit that they said before, right? I don't know. It would have been fine if that was, like, hand-waved. I was like, oh, it was all an act, right? As Hebijo students, we kind of have to do that. You know, we have to intimidate, and we didn't really mean it or something. But, like, they seem pretty legit for the most part. But then as soon as this game is over, or even within, like, the birth story and stuff, they're just, like, these funny characters that really don't mean any harm until, you know, they come across the Hanzo girls, in which case, okay, now they're evil. Is kind of inconsistent. And here you kind of see it, right? Where, like, you still have that feeling of, like, oh, they're evil, you know, what are they gonna do, right? Like, Hibari's assumptions are pretty on point here. But then he hears, like, oh, you're a friend now. We're not even gonna ask any questions. It's like, what? No. pretty discriminatory by nature. Only the righteous get accepted. Yeah, and I guess that's pretty subjective, right? People have their own levels of what's righteous and what's not righteous. You know, my level of good, it might not be enough for someone that's more hardcore about it, like the guest in school. Hibari's staring me directly in the fake. They make it easier so that their forces are larger. And in trying to, like, gatekeep righteousness, you know? Trying to be really hardcore and very specific about being good, then you end up, like, actually, like, you know, shooing people away. And they have no choice but to do the evil thing. Anyone can be accepted no matter what they've done. No, not really the difference between good and evil. There's a difference between the rules of one school and the rules of another school. And you're making this be about good and evil. But I get it. I get what you're trying to say. You're planning on taking it back? Her eyebrows shoot upward. She's such a novice. She can't hide how nervous she is. Yeah, and so I feel a lot of the evil shinobi stuff is also confidence or arrogance, I would say, towards strength, right? It's like, well, I'm strong, you know? If you want to do something, I can kill you, you know? It's like, if you want to take the scroll, fine. If you think you can, we already have it, you know? Because you gave it to us. We still don't turn anyone away? Really? There's such a thing as necessary evil. If only good shinobi existed, who would do all the nasty, underhanded things in the world? Life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Without outlaws, there'd be no society. Well, would there, though? I placed the super secret ninja art scroll in my cleavage. Walk away towards the castle keep. Sure, say that very, very, how do you call it? Very casually. I have to look over the documents for the new students today. The one and only time that I've ever seen Homura do, like, paperwork is the duty of the shinobi student leader, but it sure is tedious as hell. My room is on the top floor of the castle keep. There's a stack of admission documents a mile high sitting on a lectern there. I sigh and resume checking them over. I mean, and if... I don't even see the point of doing this paperwork other than to just have the joke, right? Of like, wow, there's a lot of people that want to enter. Probably good shinobi that didn't get accepted into the good shinobi schools. And then just accepting them without thinking, because evil accepts everyone, right? People who failed at being good shinobi, dropouts, students who come from evil shinobi backgrounds, everyday hooligans. All the usual suspects. Yeah, and it doesn't even matter to them, right? Because their training regimens are really intense, right? And whoever's the strongest, well, will survive and stay at the top. And whoever, you know, dies or doesn't make it, then whatever. They weren't that good anyway, right? And they have so many people coming in that it doesn't matter. It's a numbers game at this point. Hebijo scouts network all across the country and secretly headhunt these types. I press the Homura stamp in the past column for every last one of them. No one gets turned away from Hebijo. That's why this is such mindless work, to the point that maybe there is no point in having this if this is what you're gonna do every time. I halt in the middle of my stamping. This one's picture gives me an odd feeling. Where have I seen her? When I look at this woman's face, I start feeling nauseated. But why? I look at the entry under reason for application. There's a woman I want to kill. My brother attacked her, but she bested him. She is his enemy, thus she is mine. I'll not allow her to get away with this. I've sworn not just to kill, but to eviscerate her. Oh yeah, this dumbass. My head is pounding, fit to burst. Could she really be? Memories come flooding into my mind. Okay. It's strange. We're playing the hero story, and we're getting, like Homura's backstory here for some reason. I guess maybe this is... it's just awkward, because you have the burst expansion that shows the Hebijo side. And so, it's just odd. But if you're thinking about, like, skirting shadows in the previous version of the game that didn't have all the burst stuff, then I guess this is just their opportunity to be like, okay, we'll show you a little bit of the villain side, right? But yeah, it's just awkward. And like on top of that is like a flashback. Like, who's seeing this, right? This is just like her. It's funny to think about, but I haven't always been an evil shinobi. I actually come from a long line of good shinobi. No, yeah, and Heavy's not here. He's missing out on all of this. I'd been enrolled in a cram school since 1st grade so that I could enroll in a top shinobi school. Then once I reached junior high, I had a personal tutor with me at all times named Komichi. Oh yeah, this thing. He was an active university student and a very kind man. If I ever made a mistake, he was always quick with a smile and a gentle correction, and my grades soared as a result. My parents expected nothing short of perfection from me. My day-to-day life was heavily regimented, and I lived in a constant stress-induced haze. My time with Komichi was like an oasis from all that. He'd listen patiently to all my complaining and help redirect me when I'd start to get frustrated. I'm fully convinced that he's the one who kept me emotionally stable all the time. Truth be told, I had feelings for him. Maybe it was that whole first love thing. When I was in 8th grade, he asked me what schools I was interested in. The business was being shinobi, but I couldn't tell him that I was going to a shinobi school. He gave me a worried look. He wouldn't drop the subject. His serious expression had changed to a smile. He wasn't going to leave this be, oh boy. My vague response wasn't enough for him. Fuck. I believed in Komichi. If anyone could help my secret, surely it was he. His eyes went as round as dinner plates. And why wouldn't they? Why would anyone believe that shinobi still exist? Oh boy. I was so happy that he believed me. I told him all about my family. He listened in silence. He muttered when I'd finished talking. Fuck. Usually I'd be like, you idiot, but you know, how the hell would you know, right? I finally have the truth. All kindness disappeared from his face and a camouflage barrier appeared. Komichi was suddenly brandishing a throwing knife. I had barely an instant to react. I was almost at a complete loss for words. Sensei? Boy. Wipe out my family. That was what he'd been told to do. He swung the knife at me twice. Since I'd be trained in basic martial arts, I was able to fend him off for the moment. Even so, he had me backed into a corner in no time. He advanced on me, smiling wryly. That was all? That's the only reason he treated me so kindly? I didn't know why he used such roundabout means to get what he was after. Yeah, and for such a long time, too. Yeah, no, this guy's just a psycho. His face had twisted into an ugly snarl. There was no sign of the person I trusted. I'd felt so painfully betrayed. Sore, he cried, clapping his hands together, clapping his feet together like a baby. Is somebody that just like enjoys seeing people like in despair, I guess. If you want to make a Danganronpa reference. I bit my lip in frustration, so hard that it bled. I could never forgive myself for opening my heart to this man. And this is why I hate men. And that's how I became a feminazi. and that's how I created the feminism r/feminism Reddit. And I live in that subreddit forever, just talking about how men are horrible. I had one bad experience with one man, so now all men are horrible. This was a masterpiece, he said, licking his knife and grinning. Oh boy. Oh great, and now you're gonna shame her for having feelings. That was when something in me broke. That's where my memory gets foggy. All I remember is Komichi's face covered in blood. Wouldn't it be fucking great if Komichi actually came back? in like Senran Kagura 7 as like a villain, and he teams up with like Murasame or something. I think he would be a cool villain to bring back. And like that Homura would just have to like deal with this all over again, like actually like legitimately fight him. Even though my foe had been an evil shinobi, I wasn't a shinobi at all yet, just a regular junior high student. Anyone who commits a crime before admission to a shinobi school is automatically disqualified. Yeah, and so I can kind of understand Homura's perspective when it comes to good and evil because of this, right? All of the fucking bullshit-ass rules that you have to follow. Even though you could have actually died from this, all she did was defend herself. It was either him or her, and like she still got fucked over by it no matter what, right? The path to becoming a good shinobi was now close to me because all she did was like survive. My parents were infuriated, ashamed that I could never be a good shinobi. Yeah, and apparently her parents just want like the perfect child, like no mistakes ever. No matter how I tried to explain things to them, they were having none of them. So like it would have been better to just have her die instead of like instead of actually like defending herself. She survived and she was all right. She came out of it just fine. You know, she did the shinobi thing that she was trained to do, and like that ruined her life. She did nothing but do the right thing. They disowned me. I was left to the streets. What great parents they were. The one mistake ruined everything. Oh, look, there's me. Older. It's awkward to talk about, look, you know, like child Homura seeing herself in this poster. I've been betrayed by a man I trusted and abandoned by my parents. I wandered the city aimlessly, utterly alone. Being completely unwanted and unneeded by anyone is an awful lot like being dead. No, it's exactly like being dead. I felt dead. I was unsteady on my feet and barely aware of where I was and what I was doing. I imagined that I must have had the air of a ghost. The one who half-killed Komichi called a woman to me from a nearby back alley. I replied, annoyed. The woman showed me a brochure for a shinobi school I'd never heard of before. It was a school for training evil shinobi. Evil, but still shinobi. They wouldn't reject someone who dreamed of being a shinobi since she was a child. All I had to do was sign the application form, she told me. A burlap sack was placed over my head and I was taken someplace dark. When the bag was removed, I was in an interviewing room. I saw politicians that I recognized from TV. Damn. Look at all this lore that the newer games barely talk about. You're gonna let me into the school? At my frankness, the politicians tilted their heads. Why do you ask that? Like, look at this. These could all be like characters, you know? But like, they're just these nameless, faceless dudes. Just a politician from TV. Did the opposite, they'll be like, oh, that's exactly why we want you. Komichi was an asshole. I don't like him. They gave me very cool smiles. Yeah, I can only assume that the logic here is like, well, if he's in the hospital now, it's because he was weak. And you're strong, so you get to be in here, right? I feel like every single, like, YouTuber power scaler that does, like, commentary videos on anime and say that the best characters are usually the strongest ones and take all of those things very seriously, they would probably all line up perfectly with evil shinobi schools, right? Because it's all about just, well, you're the strongest, so you're better, you know? Caveman logic of like, big man hit other big man with big stick and guy died, so stronger man leads the pack. They stamped my form and just like that I was in. I succeeded. So much for all that studying. While the light favors few, the dark accepts all. Kingdom Hearts 4 coming soon to the PlayStation 5. I was betrayed by my teacher and abandoned by my parents. Yeah, the good guys, you know? And all of these supposedly like good shinobi and good people, they're the first people to like reject you and punish you and fuck you over for doing exactly the thing that you were trained to do. I thought I was worthless, better off dead. Yet the Hebijo still took me in. And so I was reborn as Homura, the evil shinobi. That's right. That's right. This is not even her real name. A new start. Most don't bother to recognize the truth. The truth being that some are discarded by good. By, like, one little mistake, right? For something that they couldn't help. And some are saved by evil. Yeah, it's that chaos that can, like, save them, right? Is that, it's almost liberating. I carefully examined the photo. Yeah, no doubt about it. This is Komichi's little sister. The little sister who apparently wants to kill me. Maybe she doesn't know that I'm a Hebijo. We'll end up killing each other when we meet at school. I press my seal on her application. The Hebijo accept anyone, even someone who wishes to kill one of us. I begin to laugh without realizing it. Interesting. Most interesting indeed. School life is going to get rather exciting. The evil shinobi truly are the best. When the people I love most cast me aside, my heart stopped beating. But when I'm in the middle of a fight, I realize that I can still feel alive. Yes. Yes! If I'm not fighting as a shinobi, I'm no better than a corpse. I finish stamping the forms, and take out the super duper secret Krabby Patty secret formula. Let's see just what this thing can do. Obviously, I'll be targeting Hanzo Academy. This predicament also was why she initially had the most problems opening up among her fellow Hebijo classmates. Yeah. The same little sister who tried multiple times in Shinobi versus only to get completely shut down by Homura. Komichi's sister is another character that I think could have been a fantastic character in the series. And she's a girl too, right? Why couldn't they have her be like a hot anime girl with like a story arc and stuff? Like, we never figured out what she even looks like. She was just like a voice in the story segments and just dies super unceremoniously, you know? And like, it's so weird that they kind of framed that as in like she's like into her, you know? It's like, oh, you're interested in me and like you're following me around. It's like, no, like they made it seem like Yuri baiting, you know? Like she was in love with her or something, or like admired her. It was just really stupid. It's kind of like Murasame, right? Like, I think it would have been more interesting if she was just like in denial and just hated her because of what happened to Komichi, right? And have this arc where she slowly starts to realize, oh, you know, maybe she's not that bad, but she just can't like admit it. You know, have her turn into a character, have her be a playable fighter. But no, she's like this just like bodiless, faceless voice, and then she just dies, and then like Homura for some reason cares about that like pisses her off. It's just dumb. You know, like, it's just another, like, wasted opportunity. Just like Murasame, another wasted opportunity like Kurakage up until the anime where they show the flashback, you know? There's so much, like, amazing stuff that could happen here that's, like, bogged down by, like, you know, just focusing on these girls and maintaining the status quo. And, oh, fan service, look at these bikinis. Don't think about anything else. Yeah. Plain AD side characters could have properly implemented certain story arcs. Yeah, Dogen, you know, where's Dogen in all of this, right? I feel like if he like appeared throughout the game instead of like right at the end, he would have been a much better villain, right? But no, it's like, I like money, business, oh, just an evil businessman, like it's a fucking Iron Man movie or something, right? Iron Man, the most badass movie ever, man. Yeah. When I'm, like, writing the script and writing, like, the outline for my games that I want to make, I think about Senran Kagura a lot. Because I'm always, like, you know, I'm, like, this close to being, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna make my own Senran Kagura. I'm gonna make my own, like, Japanese-style RPG with anime waifus, and all of the story shit that I bitch about and complain about, I'm gonna put it in my fucking game and see. You know? That's literally how Stardew Valley started. Do you guys know Stardew Valley? And there's some interviews where, like, the one guy that makes Stardew Valley, he's like, I love Harvest Moon, but, like, all of the newer games kind of suck, and I would love it if this thing was in the game, and if that thing was in the game, and add all of these things, but all of the Harvest Moon games don't have it, so, like, fuck it. I'm gonna make my own game and add all of the shit that I want to see in my Harvest Moon game. And he made his own Harvest Moon game, and now it's one of the most popular games ever made. Like, Everybody loves Stardew Valley. I love Stardew Valley. You know? That's how it starts, man. That's how a lot of great games start. It's a guy just having the idea of like, I love this game, and why can't this be in it, right? And then you make it, and people love it, right? And so that's what I'm thinking right now, is like, I love Senran Kagura, but here's all of this wasted potential where nothing is coming out of these things. And it's like, fuck it. I want to make my own game, you know, with like hot ninjas and stuff, where like the characters like actually fucking go places, right? I prefer Rune Factory. Rune Factory's good. Rune Factory 4, Rune Factory 5 is coming out. It's already out in Japan, I think. But it's got to come out in English. I'm really looking forward to Rune Factory 5. I can't wait to buy it and then transfer it over to my emulator and crank that shit to like 60 FPS, 1080p, because I've seen the trailers for Rune Factory and the frame rate is kind of rough. But anyway, let's just see what this thing can do. Obviously, it'll be targeting Hanzo Academy. Not only was their scroll stolen, but they're going to be crushed by that very power that they lost. I love to see the look on Asuka's face. I can't help picturing it. I can't stop myself from laughing uproariously. Oh, 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 oh. Fos, 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 fos. Shira, like that. Yeah, like, meanwhile, over here, on the good guy's side, after, like, seeing the evil side for, like, 30 minutes. You haven't seen Hibari anywhere, have you? No? My one eye has not been able to see it. Why this, like, happy, plinky-plonky music when the situation seems a little bit more tense? Oh, there we go. I got a question. Ask away as long as it's not too off topic. You put an eye patch over her. Yeah, I know. That's why I said one eye. Oh my! What you say? I couldn't hear you over the crunching of my toast in my mouth. Never, ever, ever. It's not like she'll be a Hanzo student literally like in the next game, or by the time this game ends. Henna Uso, your strange lies. Stop with your strange lies. Not lying. I can't believe it. It's a lie. Definitely a lie. Who do you think is the most underrated Senran Kagura character? Probably Kiriya. Kiriya and Hanzo. You know? A lot of the male characters, I would say, are pretty underrated. I think Hanzo could do a lot more, but a lot of people don't really think about him. He's just kind of like the Master Roshi, you know, old pervert guy, but he can be cool when he wants to. Kiriya, I think, is awesome, but, like, nobody ever talks about him. And I don't know how much more he's going to be in the story, considering that the voice actor for him died. But yeah. And then, who else? And, you know, there's other characters. I think, like, you know, Murasame could have been a good character, but he's kind of not, so I wouldn't say he's underrated. And in terms of the girls, other characters, I don't know. Underrated is not the same as underused, right? Because I'm thinking of characters like Jasmine, and I feel like Sayuri Jasmine could be, like, a much more important story character, but she's just not. But that doesn't mean that she's underrated. That means she's underused. I think maybe characters like Shiki and Riona, you know? Characters that are kind of just typecast to be like one joke. That are kind of labeled a certain way, but when you go to their stories are like a lot wiser and nicer, you know? I mean, Riona has the whole like super like masochistic thing, and she's really sexual and horny all the time, but there are many moments where she's really genuine and wise and cool, especially when talking with Ryobi during serious topics in Estival versus and stuff. Shiki is also a really smart person. She's like an older sister, you know, to the rest of the team. It's cool. I like Shiki a lot. And of course, she's also kind of pervy and, you know, wears skimpy clothing all the time. But, like, you know, she can be cool when she wants to. And she's kind of underrated. Because I would assume that the fans usually just turn all the characters into just, like, one thing. Without really looking deeper into it. But, yeah. I don't know. Hibari is not really my most favorite character. She's kind of, you know, kind of whatever for me. But I would say she's underrated because in a lot of the games, she has a lot going on, you know? When Takaki was interviewed about Shinobi Versus, he said that Hibari was his favorite character. And you can tell because she has a pretty big role to play here. And then she shows up a lot. There's a lot of Hibari missions in Deep Crimson. And she has like a, you know, like a really big segment in Astival Versus. Like, she just shows up a lot. She's really present in a lot of this, in a lot of the stories, so you can tell that Takaki really likes her. But I don't really appreciate her all that much, so that's why I would say she's pretty underrated. And I think most people don't really, you know, think about Hibari all that much, despite how, like, present she is in most of the stories. You know, considering characters that are, like, really cool that a lot of people like Katsuragi, for example. I said that Katsuragi is not that relevant to the story. You know, she's really not that important. But, like, that's the one that everybody remembers fondly the most. That's, like, the character that people love a whole lot, right? A lot of people really, really love Katsuragi, but, like, how important is she in the story, really, you know? I said that Hibari was more important because she's, like, you know, we're following her struggle for a big part of the game. She goes to Hebijo and is super, like, in it when it comes to the whole ninja art scroll kind of thing, and she gets to know the Hebijo team first before anyone else, you know? Befriends Haruka, technically. And Kat just kind of, like, shows up when it's her turn to fight Hikage, and that's kind of it, you know? It's weird. It's weird how much, like, we love certain characters that are not technically in the game, you know? Like, they just kind of show up for, like, their little bits, and then they're out. And then there's other characters that are significantly more involved, but, like, we don't really talk about them all that much because they're not, like, the waifu, you know? Hibari was first to come to mind. Shiki and Rihanna, because they're well-liked. If you're a Pokemon fan, which starter would you pick in the new Legend Arceus? I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. That Arceus game does look cool, but, like, starter Pokemon, that's not really, like, a question that I worry about too much, because I usually play Pokemon games, like, multiple times, and so I usually end up picking, like, everybody, like, all three, depending on what playthrough I'm doing. Yeah, the starter Pokemon doesn't really matter to me. Especially, like, it doesn't matter which one I choose because it's your starter Pokemon and you're gonna have them front and center for a pretty significant amount of time before you start catching Pokemon that you're gonna start switching to, right? And so by the time that happens, your starter is already gonna be like 10 levels ahead of everyone else. And so then it doesn't matter if you're fire, water, or grass, you can just kill everybody with brute force, even if it's a type that they're weak against. That's how I got. I remember being a kid and playing Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and if you get a Mudkip, which is a water type, then you're practically playing the game on easy mode because the first gym is a rock type gym, and then even with the electric type gym later on, your Mudkip can evolve into a Marsh Stomp, and then a Swampert, which is like ground type, water and ground type. So, like, you can kick the ass of the fucking fighting types with your ground type moves, And also, like, you're not that weak against electricity because you're half ground type. So, like, yeah, the typing would matter a little bit depending on what game you're talking about. But even then, even if I had, like, a Trico or a Torchic, again, just going through the game and only using the starter for a long time, you're gonna be, like, 10 levels ahead of everyone else. And you're just gonna body everybody without even trying, right? So, it doesn't really matter. I don't really treat the starters as like some sort of, what do you call it? Like some Watch Mojo quiz or something like that of like, oh, your starter, what does that say about your personality? Do this quiz. What starter Pokemon are you? Oh, you're a Bulbasaur. And it's just like the generation 1 and 2, and that's kind of it. You know? Cat shows up for her inevitable cops. I feel moments, yeah. I guess that pose is supposed to represent her holding it. They couldn't have modeled, like, you have the accessory that you can put in the girl's mouths of the scroll. You have, like, copy-pasted the scroll or change the color of it or something and just put it in her hand. Like, seriously. Yeah. If you don't believe me, then see my power. If the Senran Kagura and Nettunia crossover goes well, what other crossover do you think Senran Kagura should fit in? Not gonna happen. Just because a thing exists, that doesn't mean they're gonna keep making that thing forever. And I doubt that it'll do well. Hate to be negative, but just because they do... Remember that crossover is a Neptunia game. It's not a Senran game. That doesn't mean that, like, now Senran Kagura is going to cross over with everything like it's fucking Smash Brothers or something. Don't even start thinking about it. You're gonna disappoint yourself. Also, to answer your question, I would love Senran Kagura characters in Dead or Alive. If you're gonna make something cool out of it, then do what they have been doing, which is to turn them into fighting game characters. Homura's already in one really boring whatever fighting game called the Nitro Plus Blasters or something that I reviewed, and everybody hated me because I thought the game was just kind of okay. And then Yumi is in Cross Tag Battle. I think you can have something like Katsuragi being like Dead or Alive or something. Just keep putting them in fighting games. That'd be cool. But yeah, no, just because Thing exists, what other thing should we do? Like, no. No, I'm sorry if this comes off as cynical, but like, get real, it's not gonna happen. It's a Compile Heart making a Neptunia game, and then it's a ninja game that initially was not going to have Senran Kagura characters in it. That was kind of like a thing that they added in later. So it's not even a Senran thing, and they have no, the Senran developers have no say in any of that. So, you know, if anything, the better question would be, what other, you know, what other things is Neptunia gonna cross over, right? Because they've crossed over with VTubers and now Senran Kagura, so like, you know, that's a different question for like Neptunia and not for Senran Kagura. We need our own traditional SK fighting game. Yeah, but they're gonna ruin it by making it, number one, they're gonna make it 3D. Number two, they're gonna have make it have auto combos. And it's gonna be like super oversimplified and stupid and like not gonna have any complexity to it at all. And number three is probably not gonna have any story and it's gonna be all, you know. I would love to have a Senran Kagura fighting game, but I don't think that Honey Parade Games and Marvelous are gonna be the ones to do it. I think like the best thing that we can think of would be like a fan-made game or like something made in Mugen or something like that, because they're not gonna do it right. Like officially, an official fighting game, they're not gonna do it right. They're not gonna do it in the way that I would want to do it, which is essentially like Under Night in Birth or Melty Blood with Senran Kagura characters, and that's never gonna happen. They're gonna be like, we're gonna make it easy and accessible for people to get into, and just like press one button and it does like a special attack or something. It's gonna be so like dumbed down and stupid. And again, I hate to, I apologize if I'm coming off as really negative and cynical, but I know I know how they work. And I know how they have, like, advertised all of the spin-offs and stuff. Just look at Reflections, look at Peach Ball, look at all of the spin-offs that they have done, right? What do you think they're gonna do? You know? Or do you think it's gonna be like this Mugen thing with like 100 characters? And it's gonna be like Marvel vs. Capcom 2? Or are they gonna make it like fucking Peach Ball, where like, oh, only 5 characters are in it? You know? And it's like, you press one, it's gonna be like Dive Kick. You know, you hit a character once and they die. You know? I have my vision of a SK fighting game. And that's not Honey Parade. That's not Honey Parade's vision. Even with Takaki at the helm, it wouldn't happen. Like, apparently Takaki, the fucking pinball fan, fucking ruined pinball. Basic-ass pinball. How do you think he's not gonna fuck up a fighting game? How much DLC are they gonna add? You know? For, like, a costume stuff. Gonna have, like, 3 stages. At this point, I think I'm okay with just, like, them occasionally crossing over with other games as opposed to them making their own thing, because it's usually stupid. If it's not, like, a mainline action game, they usually ruin it because they think their audience are a bunch of dumb fuck, horny idiots that don't want actual quality in their games. And so then they're not gonna put their best foot forward. And they're gonna say the same thing that they said with Peach Ball. Well, if it sells well, we'll make another one. Oh, okay. Good. You don't give a shit? Well, I don't give a shit either, man. Fuck you. You know? Call me when Senran Kagura 7 comes out, because I am not here to be disrespected I'm not here to be talked down to by these developers that think that they can get away with charging $50 for a crappy pinball game with only 2 stages, okay? Sorry. And now they're doing it again with an action game with only 1 fucking button for attacking. Well, whatever. With only 4 characters from the Senran side and only 4 from the Neptunia side. You got a point? Yeah. My viewer count just skyrocketed from like 8 to 13, so apologies if you caught me right in the middle of a rant. But hey, Yagyu's okay. I wouldn't want Honey Parade games to make it, honestly. Yeah, like, if like Arc System Works makes it, or like French Bread. Like, one of the two, if French Bread or Arc System Works makes it, and like, you know, Psy Games, you know, publishes it, or Marvelous just publishes it, then I'd be down. But then again, Arc System Works did the fucking Grand Blue Fantasy game, right? And Psy Games, I think, published it. And that game, even though it looks beautiful, it plays like total... And this is just my opinion. The game plays like total trash. And because again, super duper simplified auto combos and stuff. And it's a fighting game made for idiots. And that's the problem, is that fighting game fans are not idiots. But it's like, you know, people just assume that, you know, complexity is just not a thing that they want. And like, here's Sakurai, like, making Smash Brothers more complicated and adding more characters and stages and music and stuff, right? The thing that people actually care about, the thing that actually sells fighting games. He's doing this, and like, none of the other fighting game guys are like taking notes about that at all. Right? It's like, no, we gotta keep making fighting games stupider. And it's like, how? Just look at Smash Brothers. Who cares if you copy it? Nickelodeon, even Nickelodeon is doing it. Right? Just copy them. Fuck it, you know? In terms of just like creating content. But then they're like, oh, but what about the money? What about the budget? What if it doesn't sell? I'm like, oh, you know how it's gonna sell? By making a good game. You know? And then they'll realize, oh, this is good. And then word of mouth comes in. You know? Again, if you don't leave a good first impression, people are not gonna come back for more. But there's this weird logic in Japan where, like, no, it's the second impression where we're gonna, like, actually put in an effort. And it just doesn't make sense. Rent THP is clawing his way out. Yeah, I know. I have to suppress it. My dark eco is going out of control, and I have to suppress that. I take pills for that now. What about Team Ninja? No thank you. Oh yeah, Mirai's in the hospital right here with Yagyu, telling her about what's happening for some reason. Oh, because she wants Senpai to notice her. That's why. That's why she's going out of her way to tell her about Hibari. She wants to piss her off. There we go, she's getting what she wants. Because she's embarrassed mostly. It's like when you break a plate or something and you don't want to get in trouble by your parents. You're gonna get in trouble no matter what, but you just try to avoid them. And there we go. That's what Mirai wants. Just attention. She wants her words to matter. Even if it means totally, like, conversation. Even if it's in, like, totally awful terms. Whatever. I have attention. You're paying attention to me. That's what matters. I can't see what's going on in the game. Because OBS crapped out. Again. Like how it always does. It always craps out. Okay, OBS has completely and utterly frozen. OBS is not responding. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. Wow, it just... OBS just brain farted really hard right there. Oh, and there goes the viewers. I see the count going down. Yeah, this is why I hate these little technical difficulties that happen every single time, because that, like, as soon as it buffers or something bad happens, that's like half the audience gone. You can't have a fuck up like that, not even once, because that, like, just drives people away. Alright, it looks like we're good now, but it just lasted for too long. Everything just froze. But oh well. All good now? Hopefully. If anybody is still buffering or if you're behind or something, then just refresh. Do a little epic tap of the old F5 key. I really am wondering when OBS is going to fix that. I'm sure they'll probably say that it's not their fault, but like... The internet is good, my connection to the server is good. It's not the stream, it's not like I'm losing, you know, connection or anything. It's the software itself is freezing, and it's fucking up my stream. Like, OBS, the software, is like stopping for like a full minute. And it drives away like half of the people that were here. And I know that it's the software because prior to the latest update, I never had that problem. I never had that problem before like the last 1 or 2 updates, and then I consistently got it every single time. The freezing thing. So it's the update. I kind of wanted to keep a straight face for when for when she would transform into a bear or whatever. I completely forgot that was her outfit. I completely forgot. Look at that. Imagine seeing this in your school. No. Is it gonna work now? There we go. It's not gonna kill her. She's gonna have a tiny sliver. Hold on, I want to hit her with a ninja art. There we go. Okay, stop. There we go. And you're out of here. Beware the spinning bear. It is a bear, right? Might be a hamster. I don't know. It's an animal. 15. Alright, finally got the aerial ninja art. No accessories. Alright. Now you're at the school. We went from the hospital to the school. It's just funny seeing Yagyu wearing that outfit while looking super pissed. Tell me what you know, I'm fucking serious. And yeah, you're not gonna get any more information out of her. She's stuck in her own little world now, ranting like me. I don't give a shit what you're feeling. Just answer the question that you've already answered. I'm straight out of the ER too. Yeah, she practically whispered those lines. I couldn't hear anything. Her dream? I don't know if you can call it her dream when she's considered dropping out like 5 different times throughout the game. No, it's not like she threw everyone away. She just in fact, she cares about them so much that she didn't want to like besmirch their name by her showing up with her fuck up, right? With her little mitten hands. Zanen. Too bad. Yeah, and so with Yagyu, it's annoying because she's just like delusional. She simply doesn't accept it. But, you know, we do get the Hebijo at some point. You don't know where it is? Yeah, I noticed that you still can't believe it. You big fat hamster. Floofy hands. That she uses to cover her face in disbelief. We gotta finish up this business with the super secret ninja art scrolls. God, what a mouthful. But I don't know if we really have it in us to handle it. Not just yet. Alright, more dialogue, more dialogue. The Hebijo have her super secret fucking scroll, whatever. We have to do something about it. I'm worried about Hibari, because she really? No, Homa has to be lying, right? God, nobody believes it. The Hebijo have her scroll, and Hibari has transferred to their school. She may have gone there to seek revenge, but I suspect it will backfire on her. Yeah, and the real Kitty is barely like, oh yeah, oh, that's what she's doing, apparently. Hibari took the scroll. It's just been one problem after another lately. I don't understand any of it. What on earth is going on? I feel like I'm losing my mind. Oh, look at that! Hibari is, like, crossed out. Damn. I think that's, like, my first time seeing that. We're only having 4 members in here. Hibari searching schools. Has to be a lie or perhaps coercion. I must go to help her and soon. I mean, kinda coercion, but not really. Cat's birthday has started over here. Yeah, I'm sure you're tracking the seconds. You're tracking the milliseconds to make sure you're on time. Alright, a Hibari mission and more fucking story. Oh boy. Happy birthday to Katsune. Yeah. About 3 years ago, the city's famous sightseeing attraction, the Castle Keep Ruins, had been closed in the name of protecting cultural heritage. There were too many kids pissing and shitting and vomiting and crying all over the historical monument. Now here I am, looking up at it. My thoughts a blur. The Hebijo stronghold is in the most conspicuous place in the city. No, what I reminded of here. So yeah, just treating her like a normal friend. Ever since the transfer to Hebijo, Haruka's been really nice, like a whole different person. That's what I'm saying. Penny for your thoughts. What? I mean, Haruka's asking what? Something wrong? What does it even mean, penny for your thoughts? I've never heard of that. I've never heard that phrase be said, which has nothing to do with what, like, she's asking a question, and the translation or the localization is not even a question, is a sentence. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? Were they on to epic weed? I've just stopped talking about wanting to... You've stopped talking about wanting to turn me into a doll. She giggles at me. Then I would just have a lot of dolls to play with, which would be great, but... no. Friends. I did say that I would transfer to Hebijo. Still, I never thought of Haruka and the others as friends. Yet Haruka just flat out called me her friend. This brings a lot of genuinely uncomfortable feelings to the surface. What does, like, Clank say in the Ratchet and Clank remake? I have many, this is where I was born. I have many conflicting feelings. Just telling me how you feel. I mean, this kind of gets a pass because it's literally a narration of, you know, what's going on through her head. The school accepted me without a second thought. But to be called a friend by a Hebijo student, it's shocking. Shocking and amazing. I figured the Hebijo were a bunch of cool and collected individualists who had no use for friends. So my thoughts, a nauseating whirl. It does all of these words that, like, Hibari never uses ever out loud. Haruka leads me around Hebijo. Yeah, she talks like a novel author inside her mind. But she never talks like this, like, actually. There are 4 different areas inside. The first is Northgate Square. Gravel's been laid down throughout the area, which is so big that could easily accommodate 5 100-meter racetracks. Yeah, hiroi, big, spacious. Why is that so funny? She stumps on the gravel underfoot. Suddenly you hear a faint voice groaning beneath us. She bellows at the ground and stomps several more times. Ground absorption, become part of the earth essentially. Oof. Burying him alive, stare at the ground. That uncomfortable feeling grows about 20 times larger. 30 hours. Sure, it's anime land. It's fiction. They can just say some big, exaggerated number to make it seem like, whoa, that's crazy. That's nothing. Yeah, waste away your life underground. As she says as she passes under North Gate. You have to rush to keep up with her. I really do wonder, have they done this? I feel like that none of the Hebijo girls have ever done that. All of those, like, intense training things. I'm here, sorry I'm late. No worries. You're exactly halfway through the stream. It opens up to the main temple area, with a garden and a passage separated by trees. Trying to relax and watch some SK. Yeah, or at least watch some text that talks about SK. Opens up to the main temple area with a garden and a passage separated by trees. We can see the castle keep directly ahead, but a high wall stands in the way. We'd have to go around to the western gate to actually reach it. Now, player, roll your dice. If you roll a 20, then you just jump over. Anything less than that, a monster comes out and kills you. Game over, and you're dead. Work dragged on? No, you're telling me I'm not even done. After the stream is over, I'm gonna keep doing stuff. Next to South Gate. There's a long bridge in the South Gate area. It extends far to the south, all the way to the castle keep. As we look out over the bridge, I notice bubbles popping in the water. There's a bamboo pipe swayed down there. A shinobi student may be practicing the art of water escape. Spotted the enemy, did you? Well, so did I. Why? I don't think that's what she said, but okay. Haruka immediately throws a knife at the pipe. Blood appears in the water, then the student. When failure... Well, I don't agree with that. When failure is permitted, no lesson is learned. Damn. I think it's the opposite. When failure is permitted, more lessons are learned. This is in the student's best interests. Well, I mean, it says the one that doesn't have to do it. The student scrambles out of the water, then bows. Thank you for almost killing me, thank you. As I hurry to keep up with Haruka, I sense someone watching me. I look around, but there's no one there. Just my imagination, I guess. Whenever there's a fictional character that says, I must have just imagined things, it's not your imagination. You know. It would be funny if, like, something like that did happen, you know, where somebody thought they saw something and it really was their imagination. It's like, oh, okay, well, nothing came out of that. But always something comes out of that, so, you know. That's why they bring it up. I try to keep a close eye on my surroundings as I chase after her. Inside, it looks more like a luxury resort. There are a ton of Japanese-style rooms with really nice loading screens. How did she live after that? I mean, who knows? Maybe just hit her in a non-vital part. Just scratched her up a little bit, you know? Just because you bleed doesn't mean you're dying. You know? That'd be fucked up. If you have, like, a paper cut. Blood comes shooting out and you actually do die. It could be like an Attack on Titan. Where, like, every single time anybody bleeds in Attack on Titan, it's never just, like, oh, like a little drop of blood. It's always like... You know, like that. I remember one time... in an episode of the anime, some person, I think, just, like, bites their lip. And it's not like, bit my lip. No. You can see the teeth going like, and like a whole, like, a water hose of red. And it was like, seriously? That was, like, comical. Like, I laughed when that happened. That was so stupid. Like, that series is so violent that, like, even a little bite, you know, has, like, this fucking explosion of fucking blood. Is like, This series is not for me, I thought. It's hard to tell which way is a dead end and which way will get you where you need to go. It must be really useful for confusing invaders. I noticed lectures taking place in several rooms. Each class has a lot of students. At Hanzo, we only ever had 5 at a time. Everyone seems so focused, I can't help but stop and stare. It's the same. The Hebijo are taught just like we are. It makes sense. When you think about it, I've just never given it any thought before. The Hebijo are the enemy. Brutal minions of evil, unlike us, good shinobi. Or so I thought. That was all in my head. This part I kind of don't like a whole lot because it's literally just spelling out for you, oh, maybe they're not so bad. It's like, you can kind of figure that just from the tour itself, right? Yeah, you see, this sucks. When they just, like, explain it to you, fuck that. You know, just from the interactions with the characters, you can already figure that, right? I don't need somebody telling me this flat out. None of that is really true. The Hebijo and Hanzo academies aren't that different. Boo. Don't add this. Cut this part out. They have friends they trust. They train really hard. They work to become shinobi just like we are. Boo. Cut this shit out. We already know this. Like, you can figure it out if you have half a brain cell and can see, you know. You can already intuit that from Hibari's confusion. This is all pretty shocking for me. It feels like everything I know is wrong. Blech. Fuck that paragraph. Like this whole screen should have just been cut out of the game entirely. The story suffers from that. That's just like, okay, for all the idiots that haven't figured it out yet, let me spell it out. Those two are Yomi and Hikage. Alright, now it gets fun. I shake out my fog and notice 2 shinobi talking casually with each other. She's still talking about that moyashi. Artistic beauty of sprouts. You really like those things, huh? They must be riveted by this conversation. They haven't even noticed I'm here. Speaking of cute, she sounds really cute talking about him. That was old anime in a nutshell. Massive violence. Well, not old anime. Not all old anime is super violent like that. It's a genre, you know, seinen, I guess is what they call it, when it's like super gory and stuff. I'm not into those. I don't really like it when stuff is too violent, especially not anime, because it's just so like graphic. And I remember back in my teenage years, I remember having a much bigger tolerance to that, and now that I'm older, I don't know. I just can't stand it. I have a really bad time with stuff that's like too violent or too detailed, you know? When it gets a little too real. Obviously, a little like cartoony violence, like in a fucking Call of Duty game, is fine, right? But when they show stuff in detail, I hate it, you know? Seeing people just die like that is just awful. Let's see. Is it true wonder? Chewing them alone can satisfy the stomach. Sakakuya. That's an illusion. It's not real. Yomi, you're in a dream. Wake up, please. Your family misses you. Yeah. Wow. Hikage with the knowledge. Yeah. Just because you're munching on something, that doesn't mean that you're actually, like, not hungry anymore. You still need to eat. You still need to have food inside of you. I don't get what they're talking about, but they don't seem at all bothered by your presence. Yeah, like, why would they feel threatened by Hibari? Never. Take a look outside. As Haruka's request, I walk over to the window. I can see an incredible view of the whole town. If only we could see it. Yeah, we just have to imagine it. Check down there, too. See a lot of shinobi students training below the castle keep. I laugh at how ridiculous it is. I see a lot of shinobi students training below the castle keep. One group is marching, while another is working on practical skills. Hebijo has a lot more students than Hanzo Academy, but otherwise, it seems basically the same. I get it now. Naruhodo. The only difference between Hebijo and Hanzo is who is employing us. As shinobi, our business is the same. Technically, yes. Kind of think of it, the two schools fighting is kind of silly. What is a good shinobi? What is an evil shinobi? You see, like, this is the kind of questions that should be posed in, like, a video essay talking about the game and not, like, actually in the game. These little questions are starting to consume me. A bit later, each of the Hebijo's elite arrive on the top floor of the keep, one after another. I mean, whatever, like, in what other way can you express it, right, when it's just, like, text? You know? If there were more, like, cutscenes or more visual stuff, then I guess maybe it'd be a bigger problem, but... I don't know, I always feel weird when they spell it out like that. But I guess Hibari does, like, genuinely has... You know, she has these kinds of doubts, right? I guess it's character-specific, but at the same time, I just feel weird when I see it. A bit later, each of the Hebijo's elite arrive on the top floor of the keep, one after another. Homura and the tiny girl who shot Yagyu. I can't let that go. But it was my fault that it happened. I start daydreaming again while Haruka talks to each of the girls. They are. And again, you know, like, now they all look so silly looking, you know? They have, like, silly, nice faces and stuff instead of the super evil stuff that we knew before. Total tonal shift here. This is Hibari, our new transfer student, yeah? Then the little girl walks slowly over to me. She holds up a throwing knife. Good luck with that. I answer in a rush and Mirai turns her back on me. Mirai is so insecure. So incredibly insecure. The two talking before Yomi and Hikage come over. Yomi scrutinizes me closely. Yeah, why are they wearing their transformation outfits here? She delicately snorts. Right. Yeah, why aren't they wearing their uniforms? It's weird. Middle class. Oh my god, just by smelling you, she knows what status you have. Like, oh, you're rich? I'm gonna push you off the building. Reprimands Hikage from behind her. Yokonai desu wa. It's not okay. The remarks seem to set her off, but I have no idea why. Set her off? I mean, if you call that setting her off, very gently saying no. I timidly call out to Yomi, who's facing away from me. There we go. That's called emotional intelligence right there. Just tell them what they want to hear, and they're at your side immediately. Being proud to relate to her expression changes completely. Oh, I would love to see this in like the anime or something. In some anime form where you see her eyes just glow up. Right. I love that I skipped the text scrolling and it was like this big ass paragraph of her popping off about bean sprouts. Yomi begins going on about bean sprouts, eyes shining. Hikage gives a vague hint of a smile. Finally, I don't have to hear it anymore. She got someone else you can babble about sprouts to. Yomi's sprout talk is gradually growing more heated. Homura jumps slightly and hides the super secret Krabby Patty secret formula in the ceiling. And we all exit the upper level room. Well, now she knows where it is. This is my chance. If I have a moment alone, I can take back the scroll. That's why I transferred here to begin with. Everyone at Hanzo may call me a traitor, but I'll stop at nothing to get back the super duper ultra secret mega version 2 motherfucker edition ninja art scroll. If I don't, I can never show my face to them again. Sure, get bags for people. What bag? This could be my big break. How can you not see that this is like a trick? Or that Haruka already knows what you want to do? You walk briskly back to the top floor. You should be more like Komichi and actually take your time. Instead of like, you know, literally on day one that you show up, try to like, do this. That's where the scroll is. I stare up at the ceiling. All I have to do is, to get it is to jump. The question is what then? How would I get back to Hanzo Academy without being discovered? I don't have time for this. They'll get suspicious if I take too long. I just have to get the scroll first, then think about the rest later. Obviously she knows. I turn around startled and see Haruka looking at me coldly. Hibari, why are you such a moron? Yeah, you get it and then what? Genuine friends. Yes, they're totally not different in any way at all from me getting to know them for like 4 minutes. I just barely met these people and now you're fully convinced that they're just like us. To your other friends that you know for a significantly longer amount of time. Struggling? Are they? Word? For real? Because it seems like these Hebijo girls are like super duper strong and they're not even trying. Yeah, it's like, okay, so the point of what you're saying is you want to get the scroll. You have rules? Here we go. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think during these story segments... So during the story segments, they change Hibari's outfit to actually have the Hebijo uniform, right? Or not? I could have sworn that the game just automatically gives her the Hebijo uniform, and I think you can eventually, like, customize, like, unlock a new outfit that lets you just put the Hebijo uniform on her. Or maybe that's the anime, I don't know. I forget. Okay, just the boss battle? God, we've gone through, like 3 of these super long visual novel segments. Like, goddamn. So much story towards the end of this. I'm not gonna lie, I like it. I like it and I'm enjoying it, but I'm getting a little burnt out on seeing just text boxes. Just long paragraphs. Oh god. Has that ever happened to you when you, like, burp or something and you feel like a little bit of, like a little bit of fucking, like, vomit coming up? It's super gross, but I think that's what happened to me just now. Like, I felt my throat get, like, really hot. Speaking of hot. Alright, so... there we go. We got the bunny outfit. Am I even gonna be able to, like, build up my meter? Not at all. Actually, I'm gonna have to take hits if I want to build up meter. There we go. Oh yeah, and I guess you do lose clothing with that. There we go. I just wanted to finish you off like that. And it doesn't really matter, right? If you finish them off with a ninja art or anything, because that's about as naked as they can be. It's not like in Shinobi versus Restival versus where, like, if you really, like, hit them with an ultimate or something, like, they lose everything, right? I don't think they will ever be able to take it that far ever again. Thank you, Sony, for that. Very cool. It's probably gonna be like this, you know, like Burst in Deep Crimson, where, like, it just goes down to the underwear and nothing more. Or, even worse, there'll be no clothes ripping at all, like in the Neptunia and Senran crossover, where both of their spin-offs, Neptunia U and the zombie game, and Shinobi vs. Nestle versus, you know, all of those sets of games, they all had clothes ripping, and now they don't. So, you know. That's life. Can't always get what you want. Look, Hibari's level 20 fucking 1. That's how much I've been using her. Added a term to the glossary. I'm gonna go check if you can wear the Hebijo outfit. Probably not. I don't recall seeing anything get unlocked. Oh god, the typical anime, it was a hologram this whole time kind of thing. Yeah, she's just sick of this shit. Why? Why don't you just face me? Mm-hmm. Like legit, for realsies. Just teammates, but not really, like, super close. A friend outside of the workspace. No, you weren't lying. You were being honest there. I don't know why she would ever back out of saying that, but hey. Nah, this is the typical just hiding your emotions, trying to be tough. Or she could just be like really manipulative, I don't know. With Haruka, you don't really know. And we're back here. So let's go to the dressing room and see what we got. Yeah, I know. Hanzo, old Hanzo, and then the gym clothes. Okay, we'll get rid of the toast. I don't want anything bad to happen to Hibari, so come what may, I will go and save her. Okay. Katsuragi, when a fight's over, I always like to try and make friends. Maybe it's because getting exhausted from trading blows just feels so damn good. Maybe some kind of S&M thing, I don't know. Psych! Okay. Whatever you say. What is it about these characters that say something weird and then they go, oh, just kidding, bro. It's surprising how empty this place feels with one of us gone. I guess it's because we're family. Oh, and she says the family thing because of the thing that Asuka drew up for her and stuff. So nice. Yeah, and she's crossed out. Let's talk to Asuka and see what she says. It'd be nice if everyone in the world could be happy. If more people thought like I do, maybe it could happen. If everyone just agreed with me, the world would be a better place. That's kind of conceited in me, huh? Yeah. Good to see that she realized that immediately. If everybody was just like me, the world would be just better, you know? Just inherently. Because everything that I think is like just correct all the time. Hebijo instruction, 3 stars of difficulty. Now we're leveling up. Alright, I've heard that Hibari is changing schools. Perhaps it's for intelligence gathering, but I worry about her inexperience. Who's saying this? Kiriya? I have no idea. Kiriya? No idea. Alright, so we're still with Hibari. Oh my god, it's like suddenly she's the main character. You're late, newbie. No, yeah, so fucking up in the same way that she always does. But now, with another school. Just imagine that you're playing a Musou game. 1 versus like 1,000 generic looking dudes, and that'll build character. That'll toughen you up. The Hibari Chronicles, yeah, like for real. As I said, this is the game after a certain point just kind of turns into Hibari's big adventure, and it's all about her all of a sudden. And there we go, just fight a bunch of stuff, which is kind of what I've been aching for, honestly. There's a lot of stories, so I kind of just want to get on the, you know, kicking ass for a little bit. The Hibari arc is still going strong, exactly. And I'm not upset about it or anything. I just kind of forgot how long it was. You know? Like Ikariga, Katsuragi, Asuka, they all kind of feel like side characters right now. Especially Ikariga and Kat. They're all just kind of like not really doing anything. Feels like the Hibari curse spreads out, yeah. Yeah, because in New Link I get nothing but Hibari cards. I think we play as Asuka in this next mission. Yeah, but like, after that, what are we gonna get? After that, we're gonna get more Hibari. I don't know. But yeah, this is just a super duper big, like, Hibari-focused segment. But yeah, like, that's the thing, though. If we're not playing as Hibari, we're playing as Asuka. And then, okay, Asuka segment done. Now more Hibari. And then, okay, let's mix it up. Let's go with Asuka now. It's like... It's just like the same 2 characters. And then the game suddenly remembers, oh shit, yeah, there's 5 characters and not just 2 of them. It is a bit of a challenge though playing in Frantic because I am losing my health very, very quickly. But we could do this too. There we go, give me health. Health recovery high. I'm already losing health. I'm just gonna have to do the shuriken thing. Although the kunai. The kunai that I forgot at home. Boom. So why are you dressed up as a maid? What's your purpose? Oh, there we go, I made it. I thought this level would be way longer. Here we go. Alright, I got the stars for doing it in Frantic. I thought we'd fight a Homura or something. Domo. What's she doing? Nakama, I don't know. I only thought the Nakama was a thing from One Piece. Take a quick break from training. Check in on her, okay. Hebijo mo nakama wo sugoku daiji ni shiteiru. Hontou ni Hibari tachi to onaji nanda. Not so different from us. Well, as you said, just the employer, right? Just the missions that they do. Although I'd say that kind of makes the difference though. Being super okay and not being very affected by killing people, and then the other one where essentially you're just being a glorified bodyguard. Anything new? Alright, nothing new. That was a surprisingly short mission. There we go, Hibari's location. We've located the Hebijo Academy. No doubt that Hibari is there. Begin preparations to bring her home safely. We should be able to get this chapter done tonight. Yeah, we got 30 minutes left. 3-8. Oh my god, another one? Fuck. What is it, like the 5th one? Anyway, it's just a lot of reading. I look up at the towering castle keep, and it's hard not to feel a crushing sense of intimidation. This is the stronghold of Hebijo Academy. Totally glossing over the fact that this place was like impossible to look for, and now you finally found it, totally just off screen. That would have been cool to at least figure out where it is. But now it's like, okay, we just found it now. Okay, so this is Yagyu. Where's Hibari? I'm brimming over with frustration and obsession. The receiver in my ear emits a small beep. I didn't let Mirai go for no reason. I flicked a little plant called a remora flower onto her back. The remora flower is extremely sticky and will cling to almost anything, much like a remora. Where are all of these, like, gadgets and items, like... Well, where are these in all the other games? Again, like, this is the kind of stuff that doesn't really, like, come up never ever again. It's also remarkable at camouflage, with its color shifting to match whatever it's stuck to. Wow, what a horrendously convenient thing. The specific plant contains a small tracking device, and it seems to be working like a charm. Suddenly, the beeping gets rapid. Mirai must be close. I immediately conceal myself within the shadow of a tree. Shortly after, I see Mirai appear with Homura and the others. But there's no sign of Hibari. I wait with bated breath for them to move on. Since Haruka isn't with them, it makes sense that Hibari would also be absent. I saw Haruka. You see, now this is like the comparison, right? Just the contrast between Hibari and Yagyu, the absolute, like, expert shinobi doing things the right way. I saw Haruka and Hibari walking together a little while back. Were I at my best, I would have confronted Haruka then and there. But in my current condition, I'd likely not survive the encounter. If not for this injury, I pull away the fabric from my skin. It's as if I've been painted. My hand is stained dark red. The fight with Mirai caused the wound to reopen. I'll just have to wait for Hibari to be alone. I grind my teeth. I'm so disappointed in myself. I wouldn't have said the things I said to the others if I'd known this is how it would turn out. Feelings of regret flood my mind. Shortly after I fought Mirai, I fitted the earpiece into my ear and heard the faint beeping. The beats were growing further apart, which meant Mirai was moving away from the Shinobi hospital. If I didn't hurry, I'd lose sight of her. As I tried to leave the hospital, the others came in. Obviously. As I surveyed their faces, I grew exceedingly angry. Damn, calling them out. They took a step back at the anger in my voice. Yeah, because you're idiots. They felt it was obvious that Hibari would behave recklessly in a situation like this. If they hadn't left Hibari on her own, she wouldn't have been taken by the Hebijo. I told them as they blocked my way to the door. Nikaraga's voice was thick with concern, but I could only think of it as meddling. Well, she has the tracking device. Katsuragi protested, blunt as ever. What do they think I was planning to do? Yeah, I'm not stupid like Hibari. I actually had a plan and tracked them. This whole search, she's our friend, right? Well, Asuka's words served only to annoy me. Yeah, they're kind of annoying me too. If you're such friends, yeah. You just kind of you let the screw up again. Nobody was watching over her when she was obviously the one affected by this the most. Asuka had no retort. She simply hung her head. Do not follow me. I pushed Asuka's hands away. Damn. The whole team is falling apart. I heard her calling me, but I left the hospital room without looking back. I know the mission after this is a novel section because that goes into Kat's backstory. More novel sections. Thinking on it now, I know I went too far. I'm a Yagyu on this one, which is rare that I ever agree with her. Yeah, usually it's like this like delusional, obsessive fucking bullshit that annoys me of a Yagyu. But here, I think she's completely on point. They had no reason to leave Hibari alone and trust that she would just run an errand. Or something like that. Like, and after knowing that she's been taken, they decided, like, they still did nothing about it, you know? They kind of just sat there and just did nothing. And it's not until Yagyu is walking away, there's like, oh, let's all search together. Oh, now that the problem is on your shoulders, now you want to do it? What were you doing this whole time? We've had like 20 levels with Hibari. Just like, why haven't you done anything, you know? We may only have time for this one. I don't know. We still got like 22 minutes left. Anyway, thinking on it now, I know I went too far. The blame doesn't rest solely with them. It's my own fault that I was wounded to begin with. If I hadn't been hurt, Hibari wouldn't feel as responsible as she does either. But I can't sit back and do nothing. I have to save Hibari from the Hebijo. I bind a strip of fabric tightly around the wound. This should stop the bleeding at least. I bite back the scream of pain. I'll save her. I swear I will. Nothing could ever replace Hibari for me. I can't be without her. If I should ever lose her. I'm afraid to be alone. I've always been terrified of true solitude. Yeah. Ever since that day, ever since I lost my little sister. I loved her so much, yet she disappeared right out from under my eyes. Suddenly, and without warning. Thinking about my sister always distracts me. I let my guard down, and sure enough, a sword suddenly comes swinging down at me. I dodge in the nick of time. A solitary lesser shinobi stands, blade at the ready. The shinobi whistles to call her friends. 10 of them, 20, all gathering here. If I were at my best, I had options. Fight or flee. But I'm not even at half my strength. I toss a bit of grass with anesthetic properties into my mouth to numb the pain. It tastes better. I bring up my umbrella and drop into stance. Fleeing is not an option. I'll fight to the death. If I can give Hibari a chance to escape. I wish I could apologize to everyone for what I said. I wish I could talk to Hibari one last time. Despite my numerous regrets, I set them aside and get a handle on my breathing, on my hamon. Once it's at the pace I need, I kick my right leg out. Now this looks cool. She still looks really like round and wide, but this is a cool image. I kill, kill, and kill again. So, fun fact, in the remake, they totally changed this line. They don't say, she doesn't say kill, she just says, like, fight or something. I fight and punch or kick or whatever, just... she doesn't say kill, she says something... She says, they wrote it to have it be something a lot more fucking pussy, cowardly. Like, I don't understand why they changed it. They made it cleaner and, I don't know. Because kill means, like, you know, you're a shinobi. There's a battle to the death and she's doing this for the person that she really cares about, right? It adds intensity to the scene. And you know, she knows what being a shinobi is all about, so it's not like she has any qualms with doing that, right? She knows what she signed up for. And so they kind of like neuter the dialogue in the remake by having it say like fight or something like that, not really implying killing. Like this is a fucking Disney movie and you gotta steer away from violence in this goddamn game. I stay constantly in the move, never in one place, long enough for my foes to draw a beat on me. So many enemies stand against me, yet one by one I proceed to whittle down their numbers. Yeah. In the remake, it'd be like, oh, they're unconscious. Because we're good guys, and good guys don't kill. But, like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna get off that. I'm not gonna spend too much time ranting about that. This is a risky tactic for me to use, however, in my current condition. The more violent my movements, the more my wounds open. I feel myself beginning to grow faint from the blood loss. Even so, I will my umbrella until the absolute last possible moment. My vision starts to go a little blurry. I won't be beaten. Hibari, I have to help her. I can't give up. And you know, the translation of the localization kind of takes advantage of the fact that none of this shit is voice acted, you know? This is just the English text that is being presented to me. But God knows how the original text is like, right? And knowing how, comparing the voice acting to the English text, and seeing how, like, 150% different it is from the original voice, I can only imagine what liberties they took with the Japanese text and turning it into English. I fall to my knees, finally at the end of my strength. I wish it was voice acted. It's a lot. The lesser shinobi moved to surround me. It's over, I'm done for. Well, like, the internal narration is not voice acted. But, you know, technically when they do talk, it is voice acted. How can this be the end? I feel my eyes closing, like never to open again. Likely to never open again. An image of Hibari floats breezily into my mind. It was raining. On my way to the Hanzo Academy entrance ceremony, I looked out at the schoolyard and saw a girl playing with no umbrella. That was Hibari. She was stomping around in the puddles of water, laughing merrily. To my surprise, I found myself transfixed. She reminded me so much of my sister. In fact, for one fleeting moment, she looked almost exactly like her. So much so that part of me thought she had come back. She hadn't, though, obviously. My sister can never come back. She died in a traffic accident. Hibari noticed my presence and ran over to me, smiling. I didn't know what to say, so I just hemmed and hawed for a moment. She cried, taking my hand and starting to run. Okay, for no reason, just grab her hand to this person you don't know? Even now, I still remember the warmth of her touch. I heard the sound of a sword striking a knife. I opened my eye, and there I see Asuka, Hikariga, and Katsuragi. All of the lesser shinobi have been neatly dispatched. Says Asuka with an innocent smile. We followed you anyway. Hikariga draws closer and inspects my injury. Got here in time, says Katsuragi, looking as carefree as ever. They exchange a look with one another. Because we're nakama, says Asuka simply. I effectively say that we're no longer friends. I effectively said that we were no longer friends before. Yet, she's still telling me this. I can't hold a candle to her. I can't compete with someone that pure spirit. So maybe that means she can save me from my own stubbornness. I tell her what I know, and she tells me that she's going to rescue Hibari alone. When it comes down to infiltrating the castle keep, it's probably best to go it solo. She departs for the keep. I speak softly to her, steadily shrinking back. Almost as though she could hear my voice, she looks back at me and gives me a thumbs up. Cool, cool. Friendship, good. So this is Hebijo behind me. If only I could turn around and see it. It feels completely different from Hanzo. Yeah, like... You're telling me? Look at that camera angle that I can't see because you're in the way. This was a good moment for Yagyu. Yeah, it was. Call them guards. The sheer scale of it is amazing. Yeah, without a fight. Having to run that straight line on that very, 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 very long bridge. Let's go. Well, that was fast. Open the game! Alright, we're ready to fuck up 1 million people. Okay, after like 5 million missions with Hibari, now we're doing Asuka! The other character that we got a ton of missions with. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Man, it's really fun to use her. She's really, really fast. There we go. Does she even have the aerial ninja art? I don't even know. I can't remember. Alright. Move forward. I got my fox ears. Exactly for this occasion. And you're out. Let's see how high of a combo I can get with these dudes. That is if I'm not screwing up. There we go. Even after the combo number disappears, you still have like a second or two to be able to, you know, keep the combo going. But obviously the faster you can keep going, the better. The faster you can get back into that. There we go. I don't know how long the level is, but I do kind of want to transform at some point because I want to see if I can do the aerial ninja art. Alright, 258. Ah, lost it. Alright, run. No, yo, 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 yo. Oh, up. Are we? Oh, I guess that was us going through the door. Didn't look like it. I thought we were going to like jump up to like the roof or something. But nah. Hold on, let the game maybe like load up a little bit. It's kind of like chugging a bit. Gotta wait, give it a second. Alright. Oh, it fits the ears really nice. There we go. Now it's getting real. Shot. Come on, get up. There we go. No, I like this outfit. I like the color of it. The white thigh highs, the dark brown skirt. Really, really nice color. You see, yeah, this is the cool thing about the outfits in Burst, is that every single outfit and every single like different color and stuff is tailored to that character, right? Like the same like costume, like the giant animal costume thing, like it differs depending on what character it is. And then like the colors for them are also really different. But if this was a modern Senran Kagura game, they wouldn't do that. They would all have it be the same outfits with the same colors and stuff. it wouldn't be anything different. It wouldn't be customized to the person that you're using it. Which, you know, nowadays I kind of understand because there's a ton of characters out now. And to have something unique for every single one would be kind of hard, because I can only assume. Alright, stop spamming those arrows. You're being annoying. Oh, no, I'm not gonna let you go ever. There we go. Yeah, you had a crossbow and you kept shooting arrows at me. That was so annoying. There we go. Who's left? There we go. Run, 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 run. Aerial. Oh, what a weird attack. It's like an air you made like a tornado out of a really strange pose that you did in the air. Yeah, wow, that was weird. That was a really weird animation. And you look really serious too. You look like bummed out while you were doing it. Shoot out air name pose now. Yeah, I just did it. I just did it. Ninja art energy. Alright. Bah. Oh. 10,000 EXP. I forgot those existed. There we go. Now get rid of this one. It's really cool seeing the animations for these attacks. Seeing them so fast at the better frame rate and stuff. I really like seeing the enemy bounce off the wall and stuff. Alright, we're still going. Where do I go next? Am I supposed to wait for enemies to pop up? Oh, there we go. Yeah, for some reason they didn't show up. There we go. Oh, okay. Is that new? I don't... Oh, there we go. Oh, that was cool. I'm starting to see a bunch of attacks that I didn't even know were a thing. Like when she did the backflip, and then she did a second backflip, throwing a bunch of shuriken in the air. Yeah, look at that. These are a bunch of new attacks that I've never seen before. Or at least didn't pay attention to. Yes, it's so weird. It's like a Katsuragi move. I like that. I like slamming them into the wall and then they bounce back at me. There we go. Man, that air attack is pretty good. You're practically doing the tornado spindle. Okay, the game is kind of getting tough to the point where I kind of need to keep doing ninja arts because they're really bullet spongy, and if they touch you a little bit, you lose a lot of health. And that's with me transformed. Although I am gonna lose my clothing pretty soon. My clothing meter, it practically has nothing on it. If you want to see the full list, you can check the checklist on the bottom screen. Nah, no thanks, I'm good. I know that I can go here. Nah. Oh no, wait, no. With the touch screen, right? But I gotta like pause and break out my mouse, and it's annoying. Yeah, it's just X. It's literally just X, and then occasionally press Y. You know, do X once and then Y, and then X twice and then Y, X3 and then Y. It's just not... It's just not very interesting. Or at least, you know, like, you don't really learn it, you know? You just button max X and then occasionally press Y during the different points into the sequence and see what happens. Which is, you know, that's usually how, you know, these combos tend to go. in most other beat 'em ups. But yeah, I'm really tearing ass here. Seeing like all of these really nice moves. Yeah. Yeah, like she's throwing bombs and throwing kunai and following up with like these cool backflip attacks. There we go, and I leveled up. Alright, it feels weird actually running to the left instead of running to the right. How innovative it is. They're making you run a different direction. Oh, shit. Well, there goes my clothing. This is a long level. Good. This is what I've been wanting. This is exactly what I've been desiring. Just a big, nice, chunky, long level where you can just fight a ton of enemies. If this was the remake, it would have already... It would have been over ages ago. I would have done it in like 20 seconds, and it would have been the same as the old versus recycled enemies. Alright, finish you off. There we go, hit everybody, even the people that I cannot see. Look at that, now that's efficiency. This really is a fucking long level, isn't it? You were right when you said that this may be the last level we'd be able to do. I was about to say, nah, we can get through it, but... we should almost be done. I mean, I'll know. It'll say success at the end. But yeah, I mean, I do like this because it is showing that, like, Hebijo is a really big place. Trying to figure out the layout and stuff. There we go. Literally the moment you said it, it ended. I must have leveled up like 7 times. Look at that. 8:53. Really, almost 9 minutes. 1, 2, 3. Really, only 3 times? I was expecting more. A new Yang technique. A new Yin technique. So that's for the combo chain, right? New uniform added to Hanzo. National Hanzo. I want to say National and Hanzo at the same time, so I said Nanzo. A new picture of the Yagyu fight, I assume. You're still confused, you idiot? We'll figure something out. Yeah, I mean, it should be fairly easy for her to come back, right? Like, if even she realizes that, you know, both teams are kind of the same, then, you know, you can go back. I mean, I'm wondering, how, like, the head honchos, the people from headquarters, how, like, the school itself, you know, like, how are they reacting to this, if at all, right? Do they know about this? Is she transferred? You know, okay, will they take her back? They kind of gloss over that part. That easy, huh? It was that easy. Alright, let's go. Senran Kagura. So we unlocked a new thing, right? Cat pajamas. That's cute. I do like this, though. So I'm just gonna leave that. And there we go. She's not X'd out anymore. She's here. Hibari's back, but Hebijo still have the scroll. We need to get it back, but that's not going to be easy. Yeah, it's weird that, you know, all the other characters are just, like, not involved in you know, in the reaction to Hibari coming back and stuff. Especially Yagyu, right? Like, what, are you seriously just going to, like, relegate it to just, like, I'm glad she returned, right? You think that she'd be the one reacting to it the most, right? There'd be, like, a whole story scene with the two of them meeting up again. But no, it's just, you know, if you want to talk to her about it, then you can, but like it's barely like, you know, it feels very emotionless. When she was gone, something just felt off. She has become important to me. We know where the Hebijo are now, right? Then why the hell aren't we already there, getting back the scroll? I mean, we can't just leave it there with them. You still haven't recovered the scroll? That is unfortunate. Most unfortunate indeed. This is maybe one situation where I'm at a loss for advice to give. If I'd stayed at Hebijo, would I have become friends with Haruka and the others there? But I have friends here at Hanzo. There we go, chapter 4. My god, this is only one half of the game and it's so long. Which is great, right? But I forgot, you know. I just forgot how long it was. Bikiriya and Homura. I'm gonna take the form of... Oh, okay. Nah, it would've, you know, it would've been cool if Kiriya was an actual character whose ass you had to kick, instead of just, oh, I'm going to turn into Homura. Just so that you don't have to, like, use up the budget and making a character model or turning him into a fighting character or something. That's so stupid. You're to fight me, don't hold back. Treat me as you would any opponent. Yeah. Alright. Let's save our progress here. Save complete. Okay. We did it. Finally. My ears hurt. Because I've had these headphones on for way too long. Alright. Well, that about does it for us. Those are our 2 hours playing through Senran Kagura Burst for the Nintendo 3DS portable video game system. But yeah, man, a ton of story. And you could even say like a ton of fighting too, right? Because that last level was like almost a 10-minute level, which is very unusual for Senran Kagura standards. At least when it comes to the newer games, because all of them are super short. They're like a minute tops, you know? And you're like bad at that level and you get like a D if you do more than a minute, right? There are some longer levels that are like, you know, like 5 minutes or whatever, but that's only when you go through it the first time when you're under leveled and you know, it's a little hard, but you know, they do expect you still to like go back when you're higher level and more powerful to just blast through it in under a minute and taking no damage, right? Just spamming ninja arts until you win. So yeah. But yeah, that was really satisfying. Going through that really long level and just doing the ninja arts and enjoying the aerial stuff. And then, an enormous amount of story getting the tour of Hebijo. He's seen Yagyu's perspective, seen Homura's backstory, and then Hibari's perspective about like her realizing that, oh, you know, these sides, they're not that different. It's mostly just the people that employ us that make us different. But yeah, it's just a lot of talking, and I kind of got a little tired of it. This game is a lot longer than I give it credit. For some reason, I felt like I was just going to blast through it, because all of my thumbnails just have all of the Hanzo girls, right? And so like 5 girls, so like 5 episodes. And I said, you know, 2-hour streams for each one. You know, by the time I reach episode 6, I'm already going to be doing like the burst story, right? With all the Hebijo girls. No, we're just barely unlocking chapter 4, and then there's going to be another chapter on top of that. Chapter 5, which is, I think chapter 5, I'm pretty sure is like a marathon of just boss battles with all the characters. And then the final boss with Orochi at the end of it. And then that's pretty much it. But yeah, there's a lot of value here because, you know, with Skirting Shadows, when that came out, I mean, they were putting out a fully fledged video game, right, on 3DS, right? And so, you know, that's the thing they had to impress right out of the gate. And so, with all the burst content, with the expansion, they essentially made a second game, right? Like a whole other game, because it's about as long, with the same amount of levels and the same amount of content and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a big, meaty 3DS game, which is more than what I can say about pretty much any of the other games that are not on 3DS. What was it about the 3DS that added so much value to these games? I guess, you know, because I guess at the time with Vita and PS3, they all had like their online stores and stuff, and so they took advantage of that, and did the little like DLC kind of stuff, and they just went so completely overboard with it. And with 3D, with the 3DS, like maybe at the time it wasn't as easy to just have DLC all the time or whatever. So they just, you know, whatever was in the cartridge, that's the game. And so, you know, they really put in as much as they possibly could put it. And the Hebijo missions are longer, yeah, they are. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, you know, like with 3DS, maybe they felt like, you know, it was like a one and done deal, you know, that there wasn't gonna be any DLC or anything, so whatever, you know, whatever content the game would have at launch, that would be it, right? And there wouldn't be much else. And so, yeah, and they did have more DLC with Deep Crimson, right? But even then, that was like valuable, right? It had, you know, like a lot of stuff going on with each expansion. It wasn't like little microtransaction-y kind of stuff, you know, like little tiny nickel and dime kind of purchases. If only they had that same attitude going into the future games and stuff, because then they got a little too complacent with like the little DLC things and stuff. It's just too much. That's why I'm not really holding out hope for Senran Kagura 7 to be like, you know, like the 3DS games, because they have that bad habit of just recycling old outfits and, you know, not adding a lot of value to the game as is, you know. You get 2 games for the price of 1. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I'm done here. I'm done. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. And I am going to answer one last question. So somebody wouldn't fucking shut up about Asuka being in Smash Brothers, and it seems like somebody was like actually being genuine and not like joking. Let's see. Saint, do you think Hollywood will ever make a Senran Kagura live-action movie? No, and I wouldn't want one. That would suck horrendously. Will it be crazy if Asuka comes into next Smash? I heard there's going to be a next Smash. I hope Asuka makes it. You're wrong on everything that you just said. Okay, so first of all, okay, will it be crazy? It would be crazy, but that would never happen. Because, not even Mai Shiranui would be in Smash, so like, what makes you think that Asuka? Also, she's not popular enough, it's not a popular enough series, it's super niche and really loot, so it's never gonna happen. And then, you heard there was going to be a next Smash? That's also wrong. There's no confirmation there's going to be a next Smash. There's like an article with Sakurai in it saying that if a new Smash Brothers ever happens, then it would only be good if he was in it because he like has the experience and the expertise to make stuff happen, right? Is the whole discussion of like, will there be a next Smash game? And if it is, will Sakurai be in it? Right? And it was just like hypotheticals and stuff. That doesn't mean there's going to be a new Smash. And maybe there will be, but you know, that leads into the article questions. A live-action movie, blah, blah, blah. If the next Smash comes, I have hopes for Asuka to make it. No, don't disappoint yourself. I'm just hoping it will happen. Don't even hope, because like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. That Nintendo would never allow, you know, a character like that to be in Smash, and they're not popular enough either way. I'm enjoying the stream. Happy B-Day, Cat. Yeah, maybe I got confused. Yeah, you weren't paying attention. But I enjoyed the fan service. Sure. All right. I think that about does it for me. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys. So tomorrow, wait, that's not the right screen. So tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah, I'll be back. I might not stream, maybe at like Sunday or something. I don't know. Definitely Saturday. Saturday's when everybody's free. But I don't know about Sunday. I'll let you guys know. And one of these days, I might actually get the Neptunia game. Actually download it and maybe play it a little bit on my own and then get into it. Eskin Link has the best crossover. Oh, Bella D. Oh yeah, hello and goodbye, because I'm out of here. Thanks. See ya. Peace. Bye. See ya. Come back tomorrow for more burst.